The 2K Sports pregame show.
I'm Ernie, that's Shaq. This is 2K Sports. Thanks for hanging with us. Tonight, it'll be the New York Knicks going up against the Detroit Pistons out at the Palace of Auburn Hills. Well, for Detroit, this is their first time playing this squad so far this season. Last year, they had a winning record against them, going 2-1. Hey, Shaq, let's talk about this 6'11" big man, Greg Monroe, out of Georgetown. He's got some offensive skills, doesn't he?
Yes, for a big man, I like him. He has great handle. You know, he's really not going to overpower defenders or elevate above them, so him being a crafty player like he is going to serve him very well, Ernie.
You know what they call him, don't you?
What?
Moose.
No,
that sounds more like a cow or a bull. He's a moose.
Oh.
What sound do they make? Didn't know that. Here's Kevin Harlan.
It's the NBA on 2K Sports. Hello, everyone. Great to have you with us. This is Kevin Harlan with Clark Kellogg and Steve Kerr. And for the Detroit Pistons, they come into tonight's game after the loss to the Nets.
You know, they didn't exactly roll over. They had a good chance to win in that game. It just didn't come together for them at the right time.
Hey, the all-around effort was very solid, but they're not interested in moral victories. A loss is a loss.
And it's the Pistons to start out. So the New York starting five, Shumpert and Melo, they're the wings. Gallenberg's out there with Stoudemire. And it's Calderon in at the one spot. Monroe, wide open. The shot's good on the assist by Jennings. Monroe's got the game going here with the first basket for the Pistons. And here are the Knicks. They defeated the Wizards in their last game.
And I thought, guys, they were the beneficiary of what was some lackluster defense being played against them.
I agree with you. I mean, it was really shocking how many free runs to the hoop they got.
Well, you knew that Andre Drummond was oozing with potential, but that P word, potential, you know, can quite often be as much a curse, Clark, as it is a boon. He just blossomed last year.
Yeah, he really did. I mean, with the way he moves around the floor at his size, you had to know that if he started to put it all together, he would be a game-changing talent, and he showed flashes of that and made a big leap last season.
A moment to check in with Doris Burke. Doris?
Stan Van Gundy had a moment to share with me. He said that they will be focusing a lot of their defensive effort into slowing down Carmelo Anthony. I asked him for specifics, and he said, Melo is such a dynamic player, there really isn't any single thing we'll do that will be the answer. Instead, we're just going to throw everything we have at him and see how he handles it. Guys?
And as always, Doris, thank you.
A room service dime by Jose Calderon.
And in the first, a little over a minute and a half in. It's Jennings with the drive, and it's sent back from Tallenberg. Drummond, and gets hacked by the D. He'll go to the line. Samuel Dallenberg picks one up.
Way to play in attack mode and get inside.
And, you know, if you're on defense and you're going to foul, make sure it's a good one. They did, preventing the and one.
Detroit shooting their first shots from the stripe in this game.
Well, you look at last season's numbers, guys, down below 70% as a team from the line.
And that just has to improve, guys. I mean, the free throw shooting is something that has to get better. You're immediately putting yourself at a disadvantage when you shoot that poorly from the line.
And the second free throw, good.
Well, Andre Drummond, kind of a late bloomer when it came to basketball, really. Was pretty uncoordinated as a kid. He'd struggle to make layups early on. It wasn't until around the age of 14 that he really started to show some promise.
Gets the whistle, contact on the way up, and two shots coming up.
Yeah, the defender draped all over him.
Pretty plain and simple. Got him good there.
And for Drummond, a different upbringing than a lot of blue chippers. His mother's focus was squarely on academics and his character, not on a future in the NBA. In fact, one time he was supposed to attend a basketball camp hosted by LeBron James, but his mother held him out because he'd forgotten to do his laundry.
first one falls for him. And you look at Drummond Clark, do you think his upbringing kept him grounded?
I do, Kevin. I mean, we're all products of how we've been raised. In some ways, I think it threw off talent evaluators because he lacked that obvious, overt ego and confidence, but that belied a hunger to be good, and we're seeing that work pay off.
Now here's Jennings. He had a 21-point outing in their last game against Brooklyn. Smith against Anthony. 6 to shoot. Drummond with a screen on Colder. Here's Jennings. The 15-footer. Good. Jennings has got his first basket.
How about that? Gets it off right in the face of the big fella. Quick release.
And operating on the perimeter like that negates some of the height disadvantage, too.
And here's Anthony from the arc. That drops.
A good open look, and he splashes home the three.
First quarter of basketball, just over 2.5 minutes played. The drive by Jennings, and it's sent back from Talonbear.
I don't know if it's just me, but he's looked a step slow since the start of the quarter. His shooting has really suffered. Now, normally, that's a shot people make, but that's not really his bread and butter there. I'll tell you what, wandering aimlessly out of bounds like that might earn him a ticket to the bench.
The Knicks have gone 2 of 6 from the field. Outside Anthony. The high post shot. That's good. Anthony's got 5 points so far.
Looks like he might be on his game today, Clark.
Pistons trailed by 3. Meeks passes to Drummond, and he takes it down.
That was some skill there. Nice use of the bounce pass.
And we're approaching about 3.5 minutes played in the first quarter. Jennings against Calderon, and stolen by Drummond. Here's Meeks. 9 points last game out. The dish to Jennings. Pass to Monroe. Laid in with a nice touch off the glass. 6 points for him. New York's gone 2 or 3 from deep so far in this game. That's going to be over and back. Not watching for the line that time. Block shots, a stat that sometimes doesn't tell the whole story. Big-time shot blockers aren't always elite defenders. And then the opposite is true. Their block shot totals don't quite capture that great impact they really have defensively.
And I think when you look at Hakeem Olajuwon, I mean, the numbers show that he was a phenomenal defensive player. 3,830 career blocks, 2-time Defensive Player of the Year. And I think you put him alongside greats like Bill Russell, who played before blocks were actually recorded, of course. But we put Olajuwon up near Russell in terms of maybe greatest interior defenders of all time. Right from the start, they've been aggressive on the glass. Most of the rebounds seem to be going their way.
And, Steve, I think they are ready for the fight today.
And that's how you exploit a gap in the D, I guess, huh?
Yes, sir. No soft finish there. Major power.
Wow. He knows an opportunity for the highlight reel when he sees one.
Here's Meeks, following the score by New York, and he gets it to go.
Boy, nice work inside. Tough to get that shot over a big defender like that.
You know, that takes skill and creativity, Steve, particularly on the release to make sure he doesn't get a hand on it.
Detroit making a switch here. Augustine's checked in. And guys, what do you think about the offensive approach we've seen so far for Detroit?
And the points they're getting in the lane will really help them open up the floor.
They've been distributing the ball really well tonight, too. I mean, a decent number of assists so far for them.
Now, here's Calderon. He picked up 12 points in their last win against Washington.
And Kevin, don't forget about his playmaking in that game as well. He was wonderful in terms of attacking the defense and figuring out when to shoot and when to find teammates.
You know, with the Knicks having a frustrating start to the season last year, you could see it really get to Melo. It bothered him a lot, but I tell you what, he turned all that frustration into something special when he went for 62 points in a game in New York last season.
And guys, believe it or not, with Melo, the 62 put up that night was a record in that arena as he knocked off one of Kobe's records with that just incredible performance.
Well, when he hit that half-court shot to give him 37 at halftime, you could feel something was in the air. I tell you, there have been a lot of amazing performances in that arena, but this might have been the best I've ever seen.
Anthony's been putting up the numbers. He already has 9 points, and he's put 1 3-pointer on the board.
Yeah, he's got to take his time behind the arc.
And the Pistons decide to take their first timeout right here. This their first look at this year's New York squad.
And this is a big game, guys, today because these teams will see each other 3 more times down the road, and this one kind of sets the tone for the season series.
For Detroit, they've gone 6 of 13 from the field, just under the 50% mark. I think Steve nailed it moments ago, Clark, talking about, these series of 3-4 games between these two teams during the year, and eventually they'll know each other very well. But as we see now, the slate between them is clean.
And being that it is their first meeting, Kevin, I'm actually anxious and curious to see what's changed in terms of how they come at each other compared to last season.
Here's Calderon, Drummond with the block. One-handed slam.
And the lead goes right back over. This is a seesaw affair.
The game's there for the taking, but neither team seems to want it.
Here's Calderon. Stoudemire outside. He's looking for D'Alembert and finds him. It's Drummond with the rebound. Drummond's got 6 rebounds now in the game. Augustine dishes to Meeks. Screen by Monroe. Shot clock at 6. Here's Augustine. Another shot. So he gets the whistle. Contact on the way up and 2 shots coming up. The Pistons shooting their 4th and 5th shots at the foul line in the game.
For Detroit down on the floor. Greg Monroe. Taking 2 shots.
And that one falls for Monroe.
Greg Monroe, 6'11", 250, the ability to play the 4 or the 5 spot, and his combination of size and skill makes him very coveted around the league.
Here's what Detroit's going with right now. Jerebko's checked in for Andre Drummond. Butler comes in for Josh Smith. And it's Caldwell Pope in for Jody Meeks. And Monroe, very left-hand dominant, much better scoring from that side of the floor.
Yeah, and while being a lefty does throw defenders off, I think developing his right hand is something that will help him even get better as he moves forward.
And so it's Detroit with the ball. The Knicks making the shot, and the shot is good. Here's Larkin. Now the pass to Bargnani. Kicks to Smith. Puts up the baby hook. Rebounded by Jerebko. Pistons leading by 3. And Augustine kicks to Caldwell Pope. There's the bucket. Good.
Got a little room at the rim and laid it in. Great play.
New York's gone 2 of 4 from beyond the arc to start the game. A baseline J, and Hardaway gets it to go. Hardaway has got his first 2 points. And, well, Detroit shooting at a nice 53% rate to start the game. They are sticking to the campaign. Jerebko can't get it to go. Knicks trail by 3. Smith for 3. Augustine grabs the board. And the Pistons with possession. Here's Caldwell Pope. Here's Jerebko. Rebounded by Hardaway.
Boy, he had a good look at that one. You hate to miss that shot.
Smith against Augustine. And it's Smith again missing. Pistons leading by 3. Augustine passes to Caldwell Pope. Jerebko can't get it to go. Here comes Smith. He hasn't scored yet. That I'm sure will change. That drops.
Now, he's one of the best in the league when it comes to executing that lead pass.
Now here is Augustine.
It's a Detroit Pistons timeout.
Time called here. The Pistons decide to talk it over.
J.R. Smith going from one of his best seasons in 2012-13 to one of his worst a year ago. I think his knee surgery in the offseason really got him off to a slow start. He didn't have the same bounce in his step, and he didn't find his game until late in the season.
Kyle Singler's checked in for the Pistons.
Well, as we take a look at the rankings, let's see where Detroit ended up last season. 3rd in rebounding, 8th in steals, and they were in the top half of the league in block shots. So not a very intimidating team, but nonetheless a solid defensive team.
And this is a team that really relied most heavily on the rebounding numbers that you talked about. I mean, they're top 5. They're a team that likes to attack the lane at both ends of the floor, really control the glass on defense, and try to pound you inside with the offensive boards.
Now here is Hardaway. He's coming off a 16-point game against Washington. That's blocked.
In terms of rebounding, it's been a sensational opening quarter.
I like sensational. That's a good word for it. Well, you talk about Smith's knee holding him back. It does make sense. I mean, his rebounding and rate of scoring both went down, but he shot well from outside and increased his assist totals. That speaks to him playing around his knee issue a bit.
And Smith shooting poorly to start last season, but his play improved as the season wore on, Steve.
Yeah, and as his knee rounded into form, I think he got more comfortable, and we saw that in how he finished the season.
And so he makes both from the line.
DJ Augustine playing big minutes for the Bulls last season with Derrick Rose. I'll tell you what, he put up some big numbers at times, 27 points in back-to-back games.
And the Knicks decide to take their first time out here. And for Augustine, undersized at the point guard position, he has struggled defensively.
Yeah, and he has to compensate with his shooting and passing skills. When he's hitting shots and finding teammates, he's solid.
We've got 1:08 left in the first quarter. Outside Hardaway. And it's Hardaway again missing. Detroit leading by 3. Butler dishes to Urepko. Here's Caldwell Pope. Pass to Augustine. Another shot. He lays it in. And the Pistons lead by 5.
You see the defense get caught standing around that time, giving up an easy second chance bucket.
Simply need more of an effort on the boards there, Steve.
Now here is Smith. 8 points his last outing. That one goes. Count it. Smith's got his first 2 points of the night. We've got 28 seconds left to play here in the first. Caldwell Pope kicks to Augustine. Buries the long-range jumper. There's 18 seconds left to play in the first quarter. Smith with a screen on Augustine. Hardaway for 3, and he gets it to go. Hardaway has got 5 points so far.
How about the response? Retaliation. Impressive, huh, guys?
I'll say exactly that as well. Nice job to recover those 3 points right away.
And a high-scoring first quarter. Both teams really filling it up. It's Detroit up by 3. Stay with us as we get set to bring you the second quarter right after this.
Next Tuesday, November 11th, Al Jefferson and the Charlotte Hornets take on LaMarcus Aldridge and the Portland Trail Blazers. Don't miss out.
And off we go, a close game now starting the second quarter. And before we move on, what do you guys think about what we've seen so far from Detroit?
And it's really been a dominant effort on the glass. That's been the key here.
Yeah, they've established nice low post presence, which always tends to help you on the rebounding battle.
Knicks trail by 3. Meeks and Singler at the 2 and 3. The big men, Smith and Drummond. And it's Jennings in at the point. They're the group Detroit will start the second with.
And after that last game, Clark, I'm not surprised to see him so hot. He's got it rolling right now.
Here's Meeks. Smith with a screen on Calderon. Smith sets the pick for Jennings. He dishes it to Drummond. Just 5 to shoot. Here's Singler. It's rebounded by New York.
That's not a sight you see very often. I mean, he has a great feel for that jump shot, especially when he's open.
He lobs it up, and Smith with the stuff.
Incredible timing on the alley-oop.
He absolutely hammered it down.
And that's the play we're going to remember when this game is all said and done.
The Pistons struggled last year at home, and there were a number of factors that you could point to, but one of them is they weren't able to stretch the floor because they lacked perimeter shooting.
Here in the second quarter with a little over a minute gone. Up top, Jennings. He's guarded by Calderon. Pushing it up. And the jam by Stoudemire.
That is such good work to make this a one-possession game. Terrific steal to get it all started.
Yeah, it's one thing to create a turnover, but to so alertly turn it into a transition opportunity, that's even better.
Now, here is Smith. 11 points for him in that last game against Brooklyn.
Did a great job picking the defense apart, too. It wasn't just his scoring. Give him credit for his passing in that game, too. Pistons really did struggle shooting the ball from deep at home. Only 17 home wins for them because they just couldn't stretch teams out.
Here is Calderon, following the score by Josh Smith. D'Alembert sets a screen for Calderon. No luck. And it's Detroit the other way. And the officials call over the back. A little too aggressive there.
Not much doubt about that over the back call.
Yeah, he was all over his back that time. Looked like he was going for a piggyback ride.
The Pistons making a change here. Monroe's checked in. It's one thing if you don't make a lot of threes because you don't take them. But for the Detroit Pistons, they took a fair amount and still Clark couldn't hit them.
Well, that equates to poor shooting, basically. I mean, the volume is there. The quality is not. So now they want to win more than 17 games at home this year. They got to make more threes. It's as simple as that.
And keeping us updated from the sideline, let's swing it over to Dorisburg.
Oh, how about that basketball fan? Beautiful. Wow. Every jaw in this arena just went to the ground.
And they're going to stay that way for a while, I think. Oh, my goodness.
Oh,
what
boy.
a play.
Stunning stuff, guys. That was incredible.
Jennings kicks to Meeks. Jennings drives in. Drummond. The shot's good. Jennings making the play. Drummond's got his second basket of the night.
He kind of threaded the needle with that pass into the paint.
Calderon passes to Carmelo. And so he draws the foul on the shot. A trip to the line to shoot two. Now here the 2K leaderboard with last season's top rebounding teams. In the third spot, the Pistons.
Boy, I tell you what, Kevin, they never eased up on the boards throughout last season. I mean, they were tenacious. They persevered. They were aggressive. I mean, they went after the boards hard.
For New York, they have looked good at the line tonight. They're perfect in 4 attempts. That free throw good from Anthony. So Anthony nails both of them. Well, Steve, right from the start last season, some upheaval for the New York Knicks with a front office shaker.
Yeah, surprising move when you consider that the team was coming off a 54-win season in 2013 and the team's first second-round appearance in over a decade.
Travis Outlaw's checked in for Anthony. The Knicks have gone 3 of their first 5 shots to drop here in the second quarter. Calderon kicks to Shumpert. To the inside. Outlaw dishes to Shumpert. Shoots the 3. That's good. Shumpert's got 5 points now this quarter.
And for the Knicks coaching staff last season, you think about it, guys, it had to be tough. The GM who hired you no longer with the organization, and ownership basically saying championship or bust. A lot of different pressure coming from different sources in the Knicks situation.
And yes, sir, that one drops. The Knicks have gone 4 of 6 from the field here in the second. He's looking for D'Alembert and finds him. And again, New York with the triple.
And with a new front office again this season, the Zen Master, Phil Jackson at the helm, new coaching staff. We'll see if the Knicks can create a stable foundation moving forward.
Jennings passes to Smith. Smith right side. Another shot. And, there's a whistle. He was going up for a layup. And while it looked like there was some contact, I wasn't sure they were going to call a foul shot or not, but sure enough they have. So he'll head to the free throw line. And a chance for just a second to check out the scoring breakdown for New York.
Well, they've definitely had the hot hand from the three-point line so far. Always nice to start out like that.
Something else they've done right so far from the get-go tonight is run. I mean, so much of their offense has come off the fast break.
Free throw, good. Drummond.
Well, some mixed results from the Pistons so far with their new acquisitions of Josh Smith and Brandon Jennings. Certainly a talent upgrade, but they didn't seem to move the needle all that much in year one.
So he gets them both. The Knicks with the lead. Calderon with it. Feeds it to Outlaw. And lots of contact there. Missing the shot. He'll shoot two. And for Josh Smith, a 4-year, $58 million contract. A lot invested in this new-look roster.
Yeah, and they've got talented players, Kevin. A lot of them are young and still developing, have some room to grow. It's about defining, accepting, and embracing roles. And we'll see if the Pistons can make all of that happen. Shooting 100% in the quarter. They've made them all, taking full advantage at the line.
Well, it's a nice job of really making the most of their opportunities.
And that's good as he hits both of his shots. Well, the problem for the Knicks last year is that they didn't really do any one thing in an outstanding way.
Well, a lot of people wonder how they missed the playoffs, but when you look at them and analyze them, they were really an average team.
Deflects the pass, and so he earns a trip to the line. Officials saw the contact, and he'll shoot two.
Well, even with the weakness of the Eastern Conference last year, the Knicks unable to get into the postseason. It was a subpar year across the board. They're looking to bounce back now.
Well, you know, when you look at most playoff teams, there's an established, clear identity of who they are and how they play and what they rely on night in and night out. The Knicks didn't have any of that.
Good on the second free throw. The Pistons ended near the bottom of the East, guys, again, but still certainly a ways to go.
Well, a lot of their struggles, Kevin, came from just their inability to close out games against the rest of the conference.
The Pistons last year, they finished with a 23-29 record against the East. And for the last number of years, they just haven't quite been able to figure out how to take that next step forward.
The Knicks have been a perfect 8 of 8 at the line. The first free throw is good.
Well, the Pistons made some moves, but they really just seem to be keeping pace with the rest of the East. I think they have to be patient and allow this young talent to blossom, and they'll have a chance to move up.
DJ Augustine's checked in for Detroit. And both free throws good from Amon Shumpert.
Just a lot of disappointment for the Knicks last year and their fans, as many were hoping for them to challenge for the East title, but it just never came together. A fragile line between being a playoff team and not.
Pistons passing it around. Drummond sets the screen for Smith. 4 on the shot clock. Passes it to Augustine from downtown. There's the bucket. Good. Augustine's got 8 points. And the Knicks last season had some strong runs at times, but a slow start to the season, Steve, put them too far in back of everybody else.
Well, you kept waiting for them to catch up, but as you said, their sluggish start did them in, and they had to work overtime just to get back into the playoff hunt late in the year.
Time called here. The Knicks decide to talk it over.
Josh Smith signed by the Pistons last year to that big 4-year, $54 million contract. You know, the fit was problematic, particularly on the front line, trying to play next to Andre Drummond and Greg Monroe. I think it's important for Smith to have shooting around him. Otherwise, teams just sag off and they take away his driving lanes.
Caron Butler is checked in for the Pistons. Contavious Caldwell-Pope comes in for Meeks. Hardaway's checked in for New York. Larkin comes in for Jose Calderon. Here's Larkin. D'Alembert with the screen on Augustine. Outside Hardaway. Here's the three. Rebound, Detroit. Drummond's got rebound number 9 now. What an effort here tonight.
Well, you feel badly for Josh Smith. It's hard to feel sorry for a guy when he's making as much as he is and he's as talented as he is. But he's been playing at the small forward, and that sometimes exposes his deficiencies as a player because he tends to rely too much on the perimeter shot. Last season was his worst in terms of scoring efficiency.
There it is, guys. That Olay defense. Just watching him go, Clark, right by.
I think we might be seeing which team is ready to take control of this game.
Yeah, that's a dunk that could absolutely get them going. I agree, Clark.
And that one's good. Drummond. And between the signings of Josh Smith and Brandon Jennings, both struggling to score reliably last season, Steve, the Pistons really struggled.
Well, we saw a change in the front office as well, Kevin. But, you know, for Josh Smith to be successful, I think he needs to stay inside. That fit didn't work last year. Too many interior players, and Smith with Monroe and Drummond just never really worked out.
Here's Augustine. True on the 14-footer. Augustine's got 5 points now this quarter.
That's a nice play there. The more contributors this team can get, the better.
Now let's send it to Doris from the sideline.
Well, Kevin, no doubting Andre Drummond, an emerging star at the center position. As new coach Stan Van Gundy put it, I think we have 2 responsibilities to Andre Drummond that will help our team. Number 1, do everything we possibly can to develop him as a player. And secondly, to put a system and personnel around him that will allow him to thrive. Kevin?
Doris, it sounds like he'll play a pivotal role. Thank you.
Yeah, Van Gundy perhaps envisioning him as Dwight Howard 2.0 in the middle. We'll see if, in fact, Drummond can live up to that.
New York's gone 3 of 4 with the long-range bombs here in the second quarter. Larkin kicks to D'Alembert. Powers down with both hands.
Went for the two-hander on that slam. That's where the weight room comes into play, Kevin.
I think some urgency from him there.
Yeah, he's sensing this is a critical time in this game, guys.
Drummond sets the screen for Augustine. Into Drummond. And they immediately answer back with the dunk at the other end.
Boy, they ran a nice play there, Kevin, to set up the easy dunk.
Yeah, he got help from his teammate and ran his man right straight into the pick.
Yep, and that's the offensive player's job. Run him into the screen.
And it was a great pick, too, Clark. I mean, he may have lowered his shoulder a little bit, but he got him pretty clean.
He's played an important role in their offense today, guys. Without him, they may not be in the league.
It's a Detroit Pistons timeout.
Now a timeout called by Detroit. And as we get a break here, important for the teams to go over their own strategy, and for the players, this is where you have a chance to get rehydrated with Gatorade to put out your best effort as the game wears on, guys.
You know, it's amazing when you're playing during a season, if you go through a stretch where you don't hydrate, it can have a major physical toll on you. Your body wears down quicker, you don't recover as fast, and that can really take its toll over the course of an 82-game season.
Urepko's checked in for Craig Monroe. And then for New York, Smith checked in for D'Alembert. Bargnani comes in for Amari Stoudemire. And Smith subbed in for Travis Outlaw. .133 left here in the second. Butler attacking, and it's good. He planted his feet on the pick and shielded the defender off.
He had a whole lot of space to get that shot off.
Yeah, I don't think the defender did a good job there of getting over the top of the screen.
Hardaway for 3, and the Knicks hit again from deep.
The field goal percentage has been bumped up into the high 50s now.
Well, they should be winning, shooting the ball like that. This is a very efficient offense we're seeing out of this club.
Drummond sets the screen for Augustine. Second chance shot, and so he earns a trip to the line. Officials saw the contact, and he'll shoot 2.
And a chance to see where Andre Drummond ended up in the rankings last year. Second in rebounding, second in field goal percentage. And he was an intimidator in the paint, ranking in the top 10 in the league in block shots.
And how about the season it was for him on the boards, too? I mean, this guy was a glass eater. supreme. I mean, he was dominant in chasing down missed shots.
No good on that one.
You know, last year the Knicks played at a very slow tempo, 29th actually in the NBA in pace. And at times when things slowed down in the half court, that's when they really struggled to score.
Kyle Singler's checked in for Caldwell Pope. And the second free throw, good. Well, with pace, as you were saying, Clark, the Knicks would try and slow it down themselves, as you said, but that really didn't help them within the conference.
And, you know, the Knicks went 500 against the rest of the East, but really with the talent they had, you would have expected them to do better.
Here's Butler. Here's Urebko. And there's the bucket. Stay with it on the offensive glass, getting it done. Urebko's got 5 points so far. New York's gone downtown 13 times in this game, and they're just over 50%, 7 of 13 on threes. Bargnani dishes to Smith. Back to Bargnani. And a miss there on the triple. The Pistons trail it. Augustine passes to Urebko. Dishes it to Singer. The feed now to Augustine. Lets it go from deep. Cannot hit. And the first half ends in a close one. Knicks lead by 2. And a chance now to send you over to Doris Burke, standing by on the sideline. Doris?
Well, Jose, I saw you speaking with Coach. How did he critique the team's performance during the first half, and what did he tell you guys to change as that second quarter progressed?
Well, it was just like no effort, like just soft, going soft to the basket, going soft to run the ball. So we just got to, just grab that ball, attack the basket, and that's all. That's what we did. We started attacking the basket. We started being a little bit more aggressive. That was all. It was good plays, but just too soft.
You certainly played with authority, Jose. Thanks for the time. Gentlemen?
All right, Doris, thank you. And we'll be back after halftime for the start of the third quarter. Well, both sides have assessed what they need to do over the break in halftime. We'll see now if one can pull out away here in the third.
Some fantastic numbers for Hardaway. He's got 14 points, and he's knocked down a pair of three-pointers in this game, too.
Well, they might want to think about setting a few more screens for him to try to give him another open look or two.
Now, here's Calderon, our second half of basketball, and presented by Gatorade. Let's see who's all fueled up and on the floor to start the third. And New York looking at who they've got. Allen outside of the three with the Murray down at power forward. Amon Shepard is out there with Calderon, and it's Dallenberg in at the pivot spot, manning the middle.
Well, we now know that Carmelo Anthony was battling through a torn rotator cuff and a torn labrum in the 2013 playoffs. Surgery seemed likely, and he would have missed the start of last season, but instead he went for a combination of rest and rehab, and that did the trick, and he seemed really healthy all year.
So he hits 1 of 2 from the stripe. And for Carmelo, he took a risk in not opting for surgery on that left shoulder.
Yeah, great to see that it healed without the surgery. His upper body can take a lot of punishment because he is a physical player. He invites contact. As a scorer, he gets to the line as much as he does. So nice to see that he'll be healthy, and he'll probably put in about 25 to 27 a night, which has been his norm throughout his career.
Calderon kicks to Anthony. And there's the whistle, fouled hard on the shot. He'll go to the line. It's going to be on Josh Smith.
Well, it's been a while since Motor City has seen the playoffs on the basketball court. It just appears as though they've been stuck in neutral the last few seasons.
With Detroit, as you said, haven't made the playoffs since 2009, and Steve, over the last few years, just stuck near the bottom.
And they've been, kind of a treadmill team. Good enough to not be dead last, but not bad enough to get a really high pick. And they tried to change it via free agency, so we'll see how it goes.
And the Pistons making a change here. Caldwell Pope's checked in. That one falls, so he hits both of them.
Boy, that was solid. I'll tell you, he's one of the best there is up there at the foul line.
Jennings against Calderon. There's the triple, and it's Brandon Jennings with the three. Jennings has got his second bucket of the night.
Now, they're not showing too much respect for him defensively, are they?
Shumpert dishes to Carmelo. A little over a minute gone here in the second half. And foul called as he misses. He'll go to the line and shoot two. Now let's take a look at the most efficient scorers in the NBA from last year's campaign. Second, Andre Drummond.
That's the name of the game for him. Just putting the ball in the bucket. How about the season he had a year ago?
That free throw good from Anthony. Free throws good from Anthony. Here in this third quarter, just over a minute play. To the inside, Meeks, and a foul on the shot. He'll go to the stripe for two, and it's going to go on Iman Shumpert.
Jody Meeks, a 6'4" shooting specialist, a starter last season with the Lakers. He had his best year of his career. Very effective in what became a larger role for him offensively with LA.
He made the only free throw attempt he had earlier in the game.
Well, he almost always cashes in when he gets to the line. He was about 86% from the free throw line last season.
Yeah, that was one spot where they didn't have to worry about him at all. I mean, at the free throw line, he was automatic.
And so Meeks nails both of them. And Meeks with his best season last year, but still probably best suited to a reserve role.
Yeah, I think that's the case. He can shoot it. He competes at the defensive end. He's smart. Doesn't make a lot of mistakes. He's not going to give you rebounding and playmaking, but what he gives you is pretty good.
Detroit's gone 3 of 6 tonight when they let it fly from downtown.
Regardless of who starts the break, it seems like he's usually the one to finish it.
And that's because of how well he attacks the rim on the dead run.
Pass to Calderon. Here's the three. Here's Dallenberg. It's Drummond with the rebound. Drummond's got rebound number 11 for him here tonight.
And offensively, they have yet to hit a shot. Slow start here to the second half.
Well, I tell you what, that's too good a look to pass up there. Even though it didn't go, that's one you got to take.
And they get one to go now after missing their first 3 shots. Maybe this will kick them into gear.
Calderon against Jennings. He feeds it to Monroe. And a foul called on the shot. Got him on the way up that time, so he'll shoot 2 right here.
Well, the Pistons' acquisition of Josh Smith last season put Greg Monroe in a tight spot. Both players, natural power forwards, neither one of them floor spacers, so it really was not a good fit, and that showed in the Pistons' record.
And that one falls for Monroe. And despite playing in one of the league's most dysfunctional offenses, Greg Monroe remained effective as a scorer, I thought, last season.
Yeah, I agree with you, Kevin. A slight downtick in his numbers, but not surprising given the circumstances you just highlighted. This guy's got a nice mid-range game and does a good job on the offensive glass, too.
Stoudemire, right side. Back to Shumpert. Jacks up a 3. Rebound, Detroit. Drummond's got rebound number 12 here already in the game.
1 for 5 on offense. A slow start here in the second half.
The Knicks have gone only 1 of 5 from the field since halftime. Very slow start offensively. Kept alive. Out to Anthony. Beyond the arc. That is good. Anthony's got 10 points in the quarter.
He's finding all kinds of ways to get it done. What a quarter he's having.
There's the dish to Meeks. 3-pointer. Again, the miss by the Pistons. The Knicks leading by 3. D'Alembert with a screen on Jennings. Back to Calderon. Third quarter action, and just under 3.5 minutes have gone. And it falls over the rim and in. Anthony's got the lead up to 5 now for the Knicks.
I don't think they can ask much more of him than what he's done this quarter.
Guys, they're looking for a way to score here.
Yeah, they've had a tough time getting the lid off the basket so far.
And here's Jennings outside. It's rebounded by New York.
He's giving them little to nothing at the offensive end. I can't put it any other way.
And here's Anthony for 3. The rebound by Caldwell Pope. Stoudemire the pass to Calderon. Sinks the three-pointer. And now it's an 8-point Knicks lead.
Oh, he's going to keep banging those home if you give him that much space.
Outside Jennings. Drummond with a screen on Calderon. Over in the corner, Caldwell Pope. Again, the miss by the Pistons. New York with the ball. They've outscored him 10 points to 2 during this run. Anthony. A chance there to push it to double digits, but it's off the mark. Here's Meeks. Guarded by Shumpert. Meeks can't hit.
He's not necessarily a strong inside presence, but he needs to polish those chances off.
He kicks it to Jennings. Lets it go from 14. And he connects with the jumper. Jennings has got 7 points.
The entire defense was frozen-footed. Nobody picked up the shooter, Kevin.
Time call here. The Knicks decide to talk it over. Contavious Caldwell Pope, KCP, drafted 8th overall last season by the Pistons. Steve drafting for need there.
Yeah, Caldwell Pope coming out of Georgia. He's got that 3-point range. Really promising defender, too, at that 2-guard spot.
A different look here for Detroit. Jerebko's checked in for Andre Drummond, and Kyle Singler subbed in for Jody Meeks. Travis Outlaw's checked in for the Knicks. The Knicks leading by 6. And Shumpert kicks to Anthony. Back to Shumpert. Releases. And the shot falls short this time.
And KCP struggling somewhat with his shot in his first season. Mostly stayed on the perimeter. He didn't get inside that often to try to get himself going. Sometimes you can get your perimeter game going by going inside. So we'll have to see how his offensive game progresses as his second season goes on.
And it's slammed in by Monroe.
Pure hustle on that play, and that's what it takes on the offensive boards. It's not about ability as much as it is desire.
And that Clark and some muscle. And he showed us he's got plenty of that with the huge dunk.
Well, in a tight game, I mean, they could use a few more of those hustle plays going forward if they're going to win. And for Caldwell Pope, a volume scorer at Georgia. He'd certainly shown the confidence to hit tough shots in the big moments in games. Sometimes rookies look to defer, but on a team in need of shot making, there seems a window for him to play a larger role. You know, defensively, you cannot forget about him. They gave him a wide open look there.
Calderon kicks to Anthony. Anthony right side. Soft touch off the glass. Anthony's got 14 points here in the second half.
He's such a well-rounded offensive player. He's got a little bit of everything.
Now Jennings, 7 points in the game. Singler left side. Kicks to Jerebko. Back to Singler. Shot clock at 5. Deep 2 from Jennings. Stoudemire grabs the miss. Stoudemire's got rebound number 7 for him tonight. Shumpert dishes to Stoudemire. And there's the pass to Calderon. Shumpert against Jennings. Off the mark there with the 3-point shot.
Boy, you wonder what the score of this game would be if they weren't pulling down all these rebounds.
Love what I'm seeing from them in the paint.
Let's take a look at the 2K leaderboard to find out who were the best shooters from behind the arc last season. You take a look at Calderon, dangerous player from three-point land, a great talent with a great release.
Now, very deserved spot for him among the league's leading three-point shooters. He was terrific last season.
And he knocks down the first one.
Boy, perfect half at the free throw line for him. That'll help their comeback effort for real.
Yeah, that's keeping them close. It's going to take a full effort here in the second half, but they've got to continue to knock down these free throws.
Here's what Detroit's going with right now. Smith checked in for Monroe. Butler comes in for Caldwell Pope, and DJ Augustine subbed in for Brandon Jennings. Smith the pass to Bargnani. Back to Smith. Singler with the rebound. Singler's got 3 rebounds so far in the game. Tries it from 9. Augustine, that's good. Augustine's got 12.
That is a terrific effort on the shot. He's giving up a lot of size, but still finds a way to score.
I don't think that affected him in the least, though, Steve. I mean, he made it look like he was the bigger guy.
Here's Hardaway. Out to Smith. Pass to Smith. Fires the 3. Tries yet again. In deep. Hardaway drops it in the basket. He's got 16.
Well, this team has really been on the offensive glass here in the second half, doing an outstanding job. And that's one of the reasons they're on top.
And Singler kicks to Augustine. Out of bounds. New York takes possession.
And checking out some numbers for Smith. How his season went last year. Last season put up about 14 points a game, 4 rebounds, and 3 assists. Just a great player to have in your arsenal for giving your starters some rest.
Steve, I agree with you. Not many teams can bring a shooter like him off the bench.
Hardaway against Augustine. Hardaway, no good.
Ill-advised shot selection right there, Clark.
It really was. I mean, very low percentage shot there.
That's an easy shot there. That's a shot that he should make more often than not.
Feeds to Outlaw. Fires the 3. Rebound by Smith. Pistons trail by 3. And Augustine kicks to Butler. He dishes it to Augustine. Back to Butler. The Pistons working the ball around now. Detroit, no good that time either. New York shooting pretty terrible here in the third quarter at around 30%. And it's Outlaw with the jam. An indication there of why the scoreboard looks like it does. Very passive defense.
But the finish was anything but passive.
No, he hammered that down, Clark. Superb above the rim action.
Outside Butler. The call will go against Jerebko. That is his first foul of the game.
Well, that's an aggressive play, trying to get that rebound. Maybe a little too aggressive.
And it was totally unnecessary, Steve. He was in no position to get to that ball. He should have just conceded.
And here's Bargnani. Still getting warmed up offensively. No buckets yet in the game for him. And it's good, assisting on the play with Hardaway. Bargnani's got the lead up to 8 now for the Knicks. Augustine with it. Shot to stop the run. Shot is off. And that does it for the third quarter. Both teams clicking offensively as we approach the fourth quarter. New York ahead, up by 8. And right after this, we'll bring you the start of the final quarter right here on 2K Sports.
Tuesday, November 11th, Tim Duncan and the San Antonio Spurs go up against Stephen Curry and the Golden State Warriors. Be there.
Pistons trail by 8. The big men, Smith and Drummond. DJ Augustine out there with Jody Meeks. And it's Butler in at the 3 spot. That's the 5 and the 4 for the Pistons. And Augustine kicks to Smith. The jump hook uses the glass that time, and it's good. Smith's got the fourth quarter started here with a bucket for the Pistons. Here's Calderon. Smith outside, fires for 3, and the shot is good. And the Knicks lead by 9.
He's got a nice stroke from long range, and You know, he's not likely to pass up those opportunities when he gets them.
D'Alembert against Drummond. Passes it to Augustine. And it's Meeks atop the key. 6 to shoot. Detroit needs to get off a shot. They get it back.
Boy, for my taste, he's far too inconsistent with that shot. I mean, he's got to make those if he's going to take his game to the next level.
Dishes it to Calderon. Off target there. That would have pushed the lead to double digits. Augustine passes to Meeks. Outside Butler. The feed to Augustine. And he gets it to go, hitting off the back of the rim. And here's Calderon. In the corner, Smith with it. Smith missing again.
Well, his shot's been off today, no question. He's not the guy they're going to want to look to if they want to keep this lead where it is.
And Augustine kicks to Meeks. Over to the left wing. Down to 5 on the shot clock. Pass to Augustine. The trade. And there's the shot clock violation. Couldn't get the shot off in time. So for the Pistons, Monroe comes in for Caron Butler. And it's Jennings in for Augustine. The Knicks also changing it up. Stoudemire's checked in for Smith. Anthony comes in for J.R. Smith. And it's Amon Shumpert in for Hardaway. We're in the fourth quarter here, just under 2.5 minutes gone. Here's Shumpert. And the shot is long.
He can't get anything to drop. And the way he's scoring, I'm not sure it's something he should try to shoot his way out of.
No, that might only serve to make things worse, Steve. Sometimes the harder you try, the worse it gets.
Jennings can't get it to go. The Knicks leading by 7. Here's Anthony. Detroit with the rebound. Monroe's got 6 rebounds here tonight. Here's Meeks. It's rebounded by New York.
Excellent. Really solid job, actually, by the defense to get in his way as he was going up for that one.
Anthony with it, and Jennings picks him up defensively. Carmelo throws it down.
Tell you what, he's going to put that one in his scrapbook. Absolutely insane with that dunk.
Well, now they're starting to rub it in, aren't they? Have build up a lead, and here we go, folks. It's showtime.
And why not? I mean, the more plays they make like that, the more they'll have these guys on the ropes.
A floater, and it's Smith missing. New York's gone 1 of 3 from outside the arc since we've reached the fourth quarter. Shumpert dishes to Calderon. A 3-ball, and the shot is good. And now it's a 12-point New York lead.
It's been the story of the game for him. Fortunately, his teammates have bailed him out.
It's a Detroit Pistons timeout.
Time called here. The Pistons decide to talk it over.
Samuel D'Alembert, a 6'11" shot blocker and rebounder. His numbers are solid, but he seems to have a way of wearing out his welcome with coaches. You notice he's played for 5 teams in the last 5 seasons.
Monroe against Stoudemire. So it's the Knicks now. Calderon with it. Fires from deep. The shot is off.
You know, normally when you dominate on the glass, it really shows up on the scoreboard, but not so much here today.
You're right, Steve. Typically, it is a good barometer that indicates who's winning, but not so.
Meeks, good.
Talk about doing a Rip Van Winkle on defense. Come on, guys, wake up. Why are they leaving him open at the three-point line? Come on.
It's Anthony with the drive. Oh, took the contact and tried to throw it down over the top, but instead he'll shoot free throw.
Well, he stopped the dunk there. That was about the only play he could make.
Well, you don't like the foul, but you don't like to give up an easy dunk either.
And let's take a moment here to get your guys' take on scoring so far for the Knicks.
These long-range shots look like layups out there, guys.
Another thing they've done tonight well is share the ball. So many of their points have come off of good, crisp passes.
He hits the second from the line.
He's been to the line here more than in the first. I thought he was a bit tentative in that first, but I like the aggressiveness he's showing here now.
Here's Meeks, and the rejection by Stoudemire. And here we go with Anthony running it up the court.
What a smooth finish.
Well, he's certainly the one they want on the end of those breaks. He always finishes strong.
Pistons trail by 12. There's the dish to Meeks. Steps back and fires. Drummond passes to Monroe. And it's out of bounds to the Pistons as Detroit retains possession. Smith outside. He feeds it to Meeks. Tries again.
They're completely untracked here. Actually, they're off the track. I'm not seeing the usual flow and movement from the offense from this team. And that's not like them. That's out of character. They got to get back to their free-flowing offense.
Calderon, that's good.
He is pouring it on in the second half, guys. I mean, a much better showing than he had before the break.
Outside Jennings. He kicks it to Monroe. Nice follow through on the fadeaway. Monroe's got 19 points.
Well, he's been a real positive factor for them today, although, you know, as a team, they've had a lot of negatives mixed in there as well.
Doris Burke has an update for us. Doris?
Hi, Kevin. Derek Fisher was just going over the plan with his team. He said we are this close to finishing them off, but the job is not done yet, and I don't want to see any let-up out there. We'll see how well his point got across, guys.
Here's Stoudemire, and there's the slam dunk to finish it off.
Tell you what, he can do a lot more damage to that rim than that when he wants to.
And you know, Clark, with the lead they're enjoying, I'm surprised he didn't put a little something extra on that one.
Me too.
Well, I think he did plenty of damage anyway. It was only with one hand, but he threw it down pretty hard.
And D'Alembert pulls it down.
Boy, he has been struggling mightily in this quarter, guys.
True. He really seems to have tightened up a bit for whatever reason. He looks tight.
And Brandon Jennings gets the whistle that time. That is his first foul of the game.
Second team foul.
Anthony on the wing, covered by Smith. D'Alembert sets a screen for Anthony. Clock at 4. Floats one, shot is off. And Detroit the other way now. Next up on the docket, the Bucks following this one. And that'll be the third of the fourth straight at home. And he'll shoot free throws here. Clearly fouled on that shot that time. The whistle blowing. Brandon Jennings acquired in a sign and trade by the Pistons last season on a 3-year, $24 million contract.
Jennings probably expecting more in terms of the deal. But look, maybe it was a wake-up call for him. It's not been part of a winning team yet. And generally speaking, stats alone don't get you max contracts. Stats and wins are what do that, and that's what's next for Jennings.
And for Jennings, a quick, explosive athlete at the point. But you talk about how can he improve. He has the physical attributes to become a lockdown defender, but his focus at that end comes and goes. He's got to be more consistent in his focus at that end.
And the other aspect for Jennings, a streaky scorer to this point in his career. A little loose with his mechanics and shot selection, I think a part of it. I think improving his shooting percentages is an area where he needs to get better. There are around 150 current NBA players with D-League experience. The developmental league, which started back in 2001 with 8 teams, now has 18. The structure has changed a little bit over the years, but I think you have to say that the D-League has become a big success for the NBA.
Calderon kicks to Anthony. And at last, they get one to fall. Anthony's got 36. Pistons trail by 17.
And, you know, this season, the Knicks, the Pistons, and the Magic acquiring single affiliation with D-League teams, and that seems to be a trend. The Knicks and Pistons moving them close to White Plains, New York, and Grand Rapids, Michigan, respectively, looking to develop players within their system and get them back and forth quickly from their D-League assignments. Makes sense and looks to be moving towards more of the Major League Baseball model.
Let's go quickly over to Doris Burke for an update.
In the break, guys, I listened in on Stan Van Gundy's huddle. There was one thing he stressed above everything else, and that was getting the ball into the low post. That is where their points can and should be coming from in his mind. He also wants his players putting pressure on the defense with early offense. Lots of shots and an aggressive approach in general whenever they've got the ball. A few late-on-the-fly adjustments as the situation gets more desperate for them. It's going to be a tough hill to climb, guys.
Thank you, Doris. And of the 18 D-League teams, 15 are in single affiliation, Steve, with one NBA team. About half of those owned outright by their parent ball club.
Well, it's moving in that direction, Kevin, a place to develop talent and test out new methods. Wouldn't surprise me at all to see every NBA team with their own D-League affiliate before long.
That free throw good from Anthony. So Anthony nails both of them. Pistons trail by 16. Jennings dishes to Smith. Smith right side. And Drummond kicks to Smith. It's stolen by Anthony. The shot. And that one's good. Shumpert. And the Knicks lead by 18. Detroit's gone 2 of 3 in the fourth quarter from long range. Good shooting so far. Jennings kicks to Monroe. Poked away. It's out of bounds. The Pistons able to retain possession here.
Still Pistons ball. 14 seconds on the shot. 13.
Here's Meeks. Guarded by Shumpert. Meeks passes to Smith. 6 on the shot clock. And he gets it to go. Meeks got 12 points in just the second half. There's a minute 47 left in the fourth quarter. The Knicks leading by 16. Kicks it to Calderon. New York moving the ball around. Shot from 12. And a big bounce off the rim, but it sinks right in. Anthony's got 40 points.
Well, that puts the nail in the coffin.
A clinic in terms of how to play with the lead right there.
And this is what they wanted, to announce their presence in this matchup with authority. Very decisive. And I think it can be considered a statement win for New York.
You know, Clark, when you shoot this well from three-point range, you're really hard to stop. The defense didn't rotate out fast enough to stop the hot shooters.
Well, you said it all there, Kevin. They were lethal from behind the arc.
And during the long NBA season, each contest important here tonight. Tonight's win will give them 4 on the season.
Well, this win gives them a victory in round 1 of what's basically a 4-game fight between these teams this season.
And it will be a fight, Steve. When you see an opponent that many times, it's inevitable that those games take on a little extra meaning for the players.
Well, you look back at this one, and what an amazing performance this has been for Carmelo Anthony. Just an outpouring of points from him. Nobody could do anything, really, to stop him.
Not nearly as productive a trip to the line as he'd have liked. They need all their free throws to go down at this point.
That's good. And the Knicks lead by 19. 1:11 left to play in the final quarter. Outside Jennings. The 3. Knicks with the rebound.
Not a good look at the hoop. They've got to do a better job offensively creating some space.
Smith for 3. The shot is off. Detroit's gotten off 4 three-pointers in the final quarter, and 2 of them have fallen. Jennings dishes to Singler. Here's Jennings. And they will get the basket here, folks, as they rule goaltending.
He didn't get to that one quite in time, Kevin. Those can be tough to gauge sometimes.
Will Bynum, who's checked in for the Pistons. New York's gone beyond the arc 7 times here in the fourth and been successful 3 times. The clock now can just run out for the Knicks. Outside Hardaway. There's the pass to Larkin. So no problem for New York as they get the win. And this one was such a lopsided victory.
They never let up. They were full throttle from the start.
And now let's catch up with Doris Burke, who's standing by on the sideline. Doris?
Jose, obviously the offense was very sharp from the start. What were you saying to the team before and during the game about the approach you were looking to get to?
The only thing I wanted to say to the guys today was just be a little bit more patient. Don't go too fast. If we don't have a good shot, let's just run like a high screen or something. It's a better option than a bad shot, you know. So I think we understand that. We execute a little bit better the plays. The ball went where we wanted to. So I think it was great. Everybody did a great job today.
Jose, thank you. Kevin?
Thank you, Doris, for that. And now for Clark Kellogg, Steve Kerr, and Doris Burke. This is Kevin Harlan saying see you next time as we present our Jordan Player of the Game, Carmelo Anthony.